It feels ages ago now, but when I was in university, I had a lot of social anxiety. I was really suffering from anxiety, especially when I was in front of other people and I had to talk to people, right? So I started going to public speaking meetings, and that's where I really learned how to overcome this fear of social situations. And that made me get so good at public speaking that not only did I win a whole bunch of championships, but at the same time, I began coaching people on public speaking. I began helping people in university on how to overcome their social issues and to really improve their speaking skills. And at the time, I was enrolled in a Master's of Business Administration. I actually switched out of that and went into a Master's of Education because I liked coaching so much. I genuinely enjoyed helping people and seeing the transformation in their skill set. Now, I graduated with a master's degree. I was unemployed for a long time, for about 6 to 7 months, right? And I was working part-time at a salon, at a hair salon with a master's degree in education. So you can imagine what that does to your self-esteem when you think you have all these qualifications. And what I started doing there was I started making YouTube videos. And this was in my free time when I would come back, I'd make a YouTube video, I'd make an Instagram video, and just document my process of looking for a job, or document my process throughout university. And I started making video after video after video with 0 views, 0 subscribers, no one was watching it, up until a point where people started watching it. There used to be one person who'd comment all the time, and I'd say, okay, at least there's one person watching the video. So I'd make another video, and I'd make another one. And eventually I started getting 100 subscribers, 200, 300, 400, 1,000, and here we are at however many thousand we're at now. And that was really the starting point of my business now, of my coaching business. That's how my business grew. So if you think about where my business started, it was literally at the worst point in my life where I graduated with all this debt and I was working at a salon just to get by, making barely above minimum wage. And that's how my business actually took off. That is where my business started, okay? Now, eventually, I did find a job. I became a recruiter. When I became a recruiter, a lot of the people on YouTube were like, listen, you've been doing this whole YouTube thing and telling us about your job search. Now you found a job as a recruiter. Why don't you also tell us about how to get a job? So then I started consulting and coaching some people and helping them out, and I felt like a lot of what I knew could really benefit them, and I started my own coaching practice, and I became a career coach, right? Now, at the time, my imagination was very limited. My imagination was, okay, just make a couple of $100 on the side, you have some passive income, but you gotta have your full-time job, right? You can't replace your full-time job. That was a limitation that I had in my brain. So I was making very little money, anywhere from 50 to $100 an hour for my consulting, and I wasn't working with the types of people I wanted to work for. I feel like the people who would come for my service they wanted a cheap option, or a lot of them just, quite frankly, wanted to waste my time, and they would never act on any of the advice I gave them. They would never do it because they only invested $50 or $100. That doesn't hold anyone accountable to following a method. Eventually, I decided, I've been working at my job for quite a while, and I was making YouTube video after YouTube video, and I wanted to get my business off the ground. I was doing all this ad stuff and making, webinars and all. It wasn't really going anywhere. So I decided to go back to my public speaking roots, where I was taught, if you want to get better, find someone who's really good and try to learn from them. Try to learn how they do it, how they got to their position. So I figured, why don't I just do the same thing with my business? So I found someone a business coach who had done this before, and I wanted to do it. With her help, I was able to get over some of these limitations that I had about you can't make this much money, or a lot of what I heard was you can only make so much money in coaching, and coaching is always a part-time thing, this, that. I overcame all those beliefs, launched my business in about, I remember, May of 2020, and within the first 18 days of launching my business, I had made 2.5 times my monthly salary in my job. Now, to me, it was quite an eye-opener. It was like, wow, I didn't know I could make that kind of money, right? But of course, once you make that money, it doesn't mean you're going to make the same kind of money the next few months. But in my business, I made more money in June, and then July, and then August, and then it grew to such a point where I was making upwards of 5 figures every single month, just working part-time in my business because I still had the full-time job. And then eventually I realized I don't need to do my full-time job anymore. It doesn't even, I can make my entire full-time job salary in like 2 months, which, and by doing half the work. So it didn't make sense for me to continue with my job. So I ended up quitting my job. I loved the people there, amazing experience. Without that experience, I wouldn't be here where I am now. Once I did quit my job, I started doing what I really wanted to do. I started helping job seekers and I became a career coach and I got a lot of clients and it was great. I helped people get interviews at Amazon, at Microsoft, at some of the biggest investment companies in the world, and I was doing great. And then I had a lot of other career coaches notice my efforts because I started posting on LinkedIn as well. That's not something I was doing when I was a full-time YouTuber, right? And other career coaches were like, listen, how have you been able to do this? Because we've been trying to do this for a long time. Some of us have had our coaching business for like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or well, not 20 years, but we've been trying to get it off the ground, but nothing's happening. How are you doing this? So I hopped on a call with them. And one of the first coaches that I was working with, the biggest issue for him was just having a very, very cheap service, like $80 an hour or something, and still having trouble getting clients. So what we had to work on is that sales conversation. How do you not be sleazy, but also communicate the value of what you offer to your clients? And I taught him, this is how you do it. This is what you say when they say this, they say that. And he went from $80 an hour to around $850 an hour, which to me was, a complete eye-opener. But he was like, why don't you offer this service to other people? Why don't you teach other coaches to start their business off the ground? So that's what I'm doing now. Now I'm working with 10 career coaches right now, and I'm helping them get their business off the ground. Some of them have hundreds of thousands of followers. Some of them have 50,000 YouTube subscribers. Some of them are from the ground up at every level. Because I've been able to do this, I can help people from the ground up replicate their business. So how do you find clients? How do you price a premium product? And how do you actually have these sales conversations? These three pieces are what I teach people now, because I've done it before and I've helped other people do it. So I know it's a system that works really well. And if you want to learn more about it, by the way, you can check it out in the description. There's a full tutorial on exactly how I was able to do that. So now I'm at a point now where I'm reflecting back. It's when I'm filming this video is December at the end of 2020, which has been a very challenging year for most people. And it's quite frankly been the best year of my life when you look at it from a personal and business standpoint, right? And I want to be cognizant that for a lot of people that's not the case. For me personally, this has by far been the best year of my life. It's been the year where I finally get to do what I really want, where I've been able to quit my job, get my time back, and really help as many people as I could. So this is what I want this channel to be about. This is what I want to help other people realize, that a lot of these big changes, they don't happen overnight. I can't give you a tip. No one can give you a red pill and then overnight you have all the success. My business started when I was working at the hair salon, and I was working as a receptionist, folding towels, sweeping the floor, making appointments, stuff like that. And you have to do work like that to get by. But for me, it was like, I have a master's degree. I didn't get this degree and land top of my class and get a scholarship and student support just to end up working at a hair salon. And now reflecting back on that journey, I've come so far where I'm consistently making 5 figures every single month. And obviously we're hoping to break the 6-figure mark by the end of the year as well. And I could not be more grateful for that, because the single thing that helped me out was finding mentors, finding people who have done what I want to do, finding people who were supportive, finding people who did not discourage me. Because when I was starting out my coaching business, I'll be honest with you, I talked to so many coaches to do research because I wanted to know. And they were so discouraging. They were so discouraging by telling me that it's either not possible, or you need to go and get this certification, or you need to get this degree, you need to make sure you have 10 years of industry experience before you teach anyone. Complete and utter fucking bullshit. That's what I will tell you. That's what it is. It's bullshit. It's them reflecting their own insecurities on you, the lack of their own accomplishments on you, so that if they haven't been able to do it, you're not going to be able to do it as well. Okay? Now, for me, it's been a realization. Some people just don't achieve success because they don't work hard enough at it. Some people achieve success because they're just constantly on the grind, right? They're constantly on the hustle, and they can't stop. They can't stop unless they know for a fact that they've gotten what they want. And for me, that's the pursuit I was on. I wanted to make sure that this thing that I poured so many hours into, making my YouTube videos over and over again, all the stuff that I built working in the hair salon, it finally came to fruition. And I know there are a lot of people watching. If you're watching this, maybe you have a coaching business that you want to get off the ground and it's not going anywhere. I know what that feels like because I've been there. I've been there not knowing how to get a business off the ground and just wasting time making videos and not going anywhere. I was burning myself out every single month. So this is what I want to do with this channel. I want to help people who want to get their business off the ground. I want to help people who are qualified or they want to get started with their business. Maybe you have imposter syndrome. Maybe you feel like you're not good enough. You don't have enough experience. Other people around you are telling you shouldn't do it. I want to flip all those things on their head. I want to give you proof in myself, proof in my clients. And by the way, if you want to see what I've done with my clients, you can see that in the description. The results are absolutely phenomenal. And that's why I feel so confident in what I'm doing on this channel. I'm not going to be making videos about things that I can't do, right? I can't just be pulling that stuff out of my ass and taking money from people and having nothing to deliver. I'm genuinely passionate about this because I'm really good at it, right? So I want to encourage you, regardless of where you are in your journey, it all starts from a small place. It all starts from a small step, and that might be creating your first piece of social media content, creating your first video, whatever it might be. The starting point is now. Instead of thinking about the perfect way, how do I do this, what's going to happen down the line, you need to get started right now, okay? And if you need some help getting started, if you need some help getting your business off the ground, again, check the description. You can get in touch with me. We can see if we can make anything happen. So my job here is to try to encourage you not to give up on your dreams, not to let anyone else run your dreams either, and hopefully you'll have your own successful business started off, or whatever you want to do in your life. You'll have all the success that you ever wanted. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.